Getting a UK driving license. It's a rite of passage for millions. But the real story of what it takes to get one, well, it's a lot more complicated than the official rulebook lets on.
So, you think you know the process, right? Apply for a license, take some lessons, pass a couple of tests. Easy. But behind those simple steps is a whole other story, one filled with huge costs, agonizing waits, and a ton of pressure that nobody really talks about.
And this really breaks it down. On one side, you've got the simple, neat plan from the government. But on the other, that's the reality for learners. It's a journey that tests your bank account and your patience, just as much as your driving skills.
So where does this all begin? Let's kick things off with the official map, the route the government lays out for every single new driver.
On paper, it looks so straightforward, doesn't it? 4 simple steps. But the real story, and yeah, the real cost, is hiding in the details of every single one.
First things first, you need a provisional license. It's basically your ticket to even start learning. And here's your first pro tip. Do it online. It's cheaper at £34 and you'll get it in about a week, way faster than mailing it in.
Okay, next up is your first proper test. The theory. It's 23 quid and you have to prove you know the rules of the road. And look, this is a big deal. You literally cannot even book your final driving test until you've passed this.
So how do you make sure you pass it the first time? Honestly, the biggest insider tip is to get a practice app. For less than a $5, you can get something like the official DVSA app and just hammer through hundreds of mock questions and, crucially, those tricky hazard perception videos. It's a tiny investment that makes a massive difference to your chances of passing.
Right, you've passed your theory. Now we get to the part that hits the wallet the hardest for pretty much everyone. The actual cost of getting behind the wheel with an instructor.
Right now, you're looking at paying somewhere between £35 and £45 for a single 1-hour lesson. That is a huge jump. We're talking nearly 50% in just the last few years. And it's the #1 reason the cost of learning to drive has just exploded.
Now get this, the DVSA, the people who actually run the test, they recommend about 45 hours of professional lessons to be ready. So, you can do the math. At that hourly rate, you can see how this all starts to add up, and fast. So when you add up all the official bits, the license, the tests, and those 45 recommended lessons, you're looking at a starting cost of over £2,000. And remember, that is the best case scenario. That's if you pass everything, first time, no mistakes.
But as this person on Reddit points out, that £2,000 figure, for a lot of people, that's just a fantasy. It's not the finish line. It's just the starting block.
And when you look at what people actually spend, it is all over the place. Some people get it done for under 1,500 quid, probably passing everything first go, but so many others are spending well over £3,000, especially after you factor in failed tests and extra top-up lessons. The final bill is just different for everyone.
Okay, so you've put in the hours, you've spent the money. Now you have to face what a lot of learners call the final boss, the practical driving test. And the first challenge, believe it or not, isn't actually the test itself. It's just getting a date to take it. There's such a massive backlog right now that the average wait is 5 months. That's 5 months of trying to stay test ready, which often means paying for more lessons just so you don't get rusty.
So how are people getting around this massive queue? Well, the most popular hack is using cancellation finder apps, like Testy. These things just scan the booking system 24/7 for slots that open up when someone else cancels. You can literally cut your wait time from months down to just a few weeks. But here is the toughest pill to swallow. After all that time, all that money, all that waiting, your chance of actually passing is just 48%. It is literally a coin flip.
And that statistic becomes painfully real when you hear from learners like Tumini Abbey. Failing isn't just a simple setback. It's got this huge emotional and financial weight. It sends you right back to the beginning of the cycle, booking, waiting, and paying for even more lessons.
But for the 48% who do pass, a whole new world opens up. You've beaten the system, you've conquered the tests, and now you've got a full UK driving license in your hand.
And this isn't just any old license. People call it a mini passport because it's a solid form of ID everywhere. It unlocks jobs that were off limits before. And you can drive pretty much all over Europe with it. No extra permits needed. It's a seriously powerful piece of plastic.
So the tests are over, the license is in your wallet, you're free. But hang on, the spending isn't quite done. What is the final massive bill that hits you after you think it's all over?
Yep, it's insurance. For new drivers, that first-year premium can be absolutely eye-watering. One person reported paying a staggering £4,300. It's that last, sharp reminder that the financial journey of being a driver has really only just begun.
When you really look at the whole picture, it's clear that getting a license today is a monumental effort. It is expensive, it's stressful, and it takes forever. So if you've done it or if you're in the middle of it right now, do not let anyone downplay that journey. It is a massive achievement. And it really makes you wonder, what does this incredibly tough process say about the price we have to pay for the freedom to drive?